So now we're going to be discussing goal setting. I believe that goal setting is a very powerful tool to make our vision into a reality. And so when we set intentional goals, whether they be short term goals or long term goals, I believe that this truly sets us up for success. And so there are different ways in which we can approach goal setting, but I think it's important that before we step forward, that we know and understand what our true purpose is. And so when we talk about purpose, we talk about what are things that we really truly align with, whether it be our dream job, whether it be, seeking to purchase a new home, whatever your goals are, making sure that they are SMART goals. So SMART means specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. And so I believe that having SMART goals is a wonderful thing because, it really puts things in perspective, in a realistic perspective. And it also puts us in a position where we really know what we need, the parts that we need, when we need them, so that we're setting ourselves up for success along the way. And so when we speak about specific goals, we really want to speak about them in a positive way, in a way that we know that we can achieve them, even if it's something that is long term. And so an example of a specific goal would be, I want to buy a home. And so that's pretty specific. And then when we start talking about measurable, we want to make sure that is that measurable piece realistic. And so buying a home within our financial means. And so we can clearly measure that by contingent upon, if you're an individual or if you're buying a home with your spouse, that you are being proactive in budgeting. And so again, that's why it's so important that when we're setting goals that, the specific and the measurables there, but then also the next one is achievable. We have to be realistic with ourselves and where we are. And if we're not where we want to be yet, we have to give ourselves grace in that. And so that's why we're setting this goal. This goal is essentially being set so that we can be successful, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to happen overnight. And so realistically, if you're wanting to purchase a home and it's within a certain financial means, then you have to be able to give yourself a realistic goal, which is the next step in the SMART acronym. Because we know that I think we all want $1 million homes, but is that very realistic? Probably, maybe it is. But I believe that depending on what your situation is, that we have to be realistic so that we're not setting ourselves up for disappointment in the future. And then the next thing is timely. I think that we have to be realistic about when we can achieve this. And so if this is a goal that is long-term for you, being timely is going to be important because we definitely want to make sure that we're tracking if this is, if it's a home that may take a little bit more time for us to get to that point, that we're budgeting properly, that we are setting short-term goals. Maybe we need to change things around so that, the way we spend, so that we are making sure we're staying on track for that goal. And so that would just be an example of a SMART goal, but you can pretty much apply any goals that you have to that SMART acronym so that, you're essentially setting yourself up for success, whatever that may be. When you set SMART goals, I believe that sets you up to be in a position of power. You get to control what those goals look like. And I think they build your confidence because I think that you're able to determine, what you want things to look like. And I think this is important to note and to remind you that, sometimes when we set goals, they don't necessarily work out perfectly. But I think that's where that grace and patience and just being really kind to yourself comes in because, sometimes it happens. And then also there you have it. Resilience comes in as well, so that you can overcome that pivot and then move forward. But at least you have a plan. And the beauty about setting SMART goals is that it's a workable plan, it's fluid. And so if you need to change things, if you need to upgrade, if you need to adjust, you're able to do that. And it makes you feel more prepared for what's to come. And so I think it's very powerful and empowering to have your goals there, because it just shows that there's intentionality, and then there's also effort and motivation to really achieve the goals you set for yourself. Okay, so now that we've defined what SMART goals are, it's important to note that SMART goals can be determined every day. You can use this to make daily decisions in your life, and so this could be as small as walking. If you want to drink more water, if you want to exercise more and become healthy, you can apply the same things to these smaller goals so that you're setting yourself up for success. Really, the true purpose of setting goals is to help you to be more intentional, but also more confident that you are capable of achieving these goals because it's within you. And you just have to continue to have faith in yourself and know that whatever these goals that you're setting for yourselves is what you need in order to be successful. So now that we've learned how to set SMART goals and really take control of our life, now we're going to talk about overcoming setbacks.